Want to remove blocks to prosperity from your life? Do it with the best in the business, Catherine Ponder, a 30-minute meditation to help you open to prosperity. Go to hightimelinebooks.com to get yours today. What do you say we begin a new week together here? The last week of September, at least the last full week. We just have one day next week. Monday will be September 30th. So this is the last full week of the month. Hi, everybody. Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Now, let's collectively, we're not going to howl at the moon. That's not the right time. We're going to go, together. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. We can rest, finally. Yesterday was a busy day. Certainly, some of it carries over into today, like it's Libra season day 2 now. We have that. We have the moon in Gemini still. We have Venus now in Scorpio. But yeah, just the energy of the square, the Venus-Pluto square, for example, and then the sun trining Pluto. The theme this week, can you say the word Mercury? Mercury is all over this week. So we're going to be following it around, chasing it through various aspects on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and Sunday is a big culmination day because that is when the sun conjoins the south node of the moon, which peaks this moon wobble that we've been following through. I've been intrigued by this political story. In fact, I did a YouTube video on it between Olivia Newsy and her fiancé Ryan Lizza, and then RFK Jr. Wow, you talk about the stuff of personal moon wobbles. Ask her and ask him, RFK Jr., about the viability of moon wobbles, because right here as the moon wobble was getting so strong, they got busted for having this texting relationship that they shouldn't have been having. Check out the Fun Astrology YouTube channel for that. I couldn't resist. The astrology around this was just too good. Not too far away from her Saturn return during a moon wobble. Yod in the chart. I mean, it's just juicy. There's all kinds of stuff there. It's like astrology really nailed one in that situation. Today, we don't have anything else. There are no other aspects to mention. The only other one is Mercury. Tomorrow is in a trine with Uranus, and that's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. A lot of people say Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Certainly there are some similar characteristics. Uranus right now in retrograde, of course. But right now, beginning now, early this morning, we can take a break. Yesterday's energy will clear. We have the sun in Libra now. Mercury will be in there early Thursday morning. The biggest influence, I would say, on the week is that every day this week, today the sun is at 1 degree Libra. The south node of the moon is at 6.5, basically, degrees of Libra. So every day this week, headed towards Sunday, when they conjoin, the sun and the south node of the moon are marching toward each other. I found the original old book where Carl Payne Tobey talks about this, and I've been reading about it, and he definitely patterned a correlation between the sun and the nodes of the moon, like irrefutable data. He was actually doing it on behalf of an insurance company, and they were looking at fire insurance claims. So, I mean, this was this almost 100 years ago, 90 years ago kind of thing, back in the 1930s. So there definitely was a business-related correlation to this. But I'm going to take this one step further. After we get out of this conjunction, the next aspect will be a sextile and a trine between the south node and the north node and the sun. And I'm going to look at this from the perspective of, do we get positive events during the trines? So we're going to really pick this apart as the sun makes a complete lap all the way around. Of course, when we get to the squares, then that's another moon wobble period. But I want to see if the trines and the sextiles get equal weight. In this kind of an interpretation, the nodes are kind of like the Vedic interpretation, that the nodes are typically like dour, if you will, negative. But we'll see. We're going to get on a mission here, because even the astrology of that 100 years ago was a lot more fated negative than it is today. So we have two sides of the coin, and I kind of get from reading through that material now why Tobey wrote what he did and how he got to the correlation. It was purely by observation. That, to me, is the biggest theme of the week. We do have the YouTube weekly video and then also the one on this political situation if you're interested in just looking at some astrology. It's not about the politics at all, about the astrology of somebody that just recently had their Saturn return, and this thing happened during the Saturn return. So I figured it was worth taking a look. Kind of interesting. All right, you guys have a great day. Let's all exit today with another closing collective